Coming in Hot is presented by Betano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Brent Wallace with you inside the worldwide headquarters for Coming in Hot alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan, who was just bragging about his mini putt score.
Hey, listen.
1 under par, guys. 1 under par.
71's, that's impressive, man. What's your handicap? I need to know this before
Okay. My handicap's a 9.
Come on. Sandbagger.
Yeah. No, a little Pinocchio nose, but I should probably be a 2. But I'm so sick of going to celebrity tournaments or golf tournaments and losing by 20. By being that guy. So I keep it at a 9 just to stay there. But I'm probably a 1 or a 2.
A 1 or a 2 with a 9 cap.
You know what the best part is? Hey,
you
know what the best part is? I'll turn in a score at a course that I don't know and lose by 10.
All right. You're coming to my member guest. We're winning.
I'm in. Hey, Yorkie, what are you carrying? If you want to come down to Nashville and you want to be part of this, you have to carry something high.
I've got a nice, generous 17 right now.
What?
Very, very fluffy. Very fluffy.
17? Like, do you gamble for bubblegum?
No, we just play for dinners. I'm a very dangerous 17. I know. Everyone in Ottawa wants to hear about Bobby and I's golf games.
Yeah, sorry.
on the heels of one of the biggest trades Ottawa's made.
I just tried to make a joke. All right, let's move on. This show is always brought to you by Betano. Go to Betano.ca. Okay, boys. We are going to talk about the big story of the day, and that is Tyler Motte facing his former team for the first time when the Rangers play the Senators. Dead quiet.
Right.
Wait, sorry.
I thought we were gonna talk about fantasy football and bad poker beats next.
All right. Anyway, all right. Getting on. Here we go. Jakob Chychrun is now an Ottawa Senator. Finally, he's been freed out of the desert. So he comes to Ottawa. He signed for 2 more years, $4.6 million. So basically, he's flipped for Nikita Zaitsev. If you look at it that way, Nikita Zaitsev is 4.5. They sent him out on February 22nd, and they bring in Chychrun. And they give up a first-round pick and likely 2 seconds because the chances of Ottawa reaching the Eastern Conference Final this year, you got to think are pretty slim, boys. All right, so... Yeah. I'm going to start with the defenseman, Yorkie, in assessing this trade. The only concern I have, listen, I like that he's 6'2". He's got an edge to him. He scores goals. He's very good in all aspects. He shoots left. That's the only concern I have. So settle me down and tell me it's okay if he plays on the right side.
Okay, so first off, everybody was all excited about the summer of Pierre. It was a summer of Pierre. And I'll have to admit, I liked some of the moves in the summer, but I thought, like everybody else, it was incomplete. You didn't get the defenseman. So now, do we call it the winter of Pierre? Is this now the winter of Pierre? Anyhow,
I'm going to debate that. I'm going to debate this in a second, but I can't wait.
I know. So I'm going to tell you why I like it. Number one, age of the player, 24, turning 25, top 4 defenseman. Can play both. I'm a big proponent of lefty-righty. But I'll tell you this, it's a lot harder for a right-handed defenseman to play the left side than it is for a lefty because growing up, there's always way more lefties, and I could go in and explain it to you about how it all works. It starts from a young age. But anyhow, Chychrun can play the offside, and he's got enough talent. It'll be fine. For me, when I look around the league and you try and identify top 4 defensemen that make under $5 million, or at least the cap hits that, because I know Chychrun's goes up in real dollars. I think it was last year's 7. But anyhow, the cap hit is fantastic. You got a player second. Bobby has talked about this many times about a lot of players don't want to come to Ottawa for certain reasons. Jakob Chychrun, I know for a fact. I know the family. I know the father. I know the agent very well. Andy Scott is ecstatic to come to Ottawa. So that checks another box. You got a player that is really happy to come to Ottawa. He's a top 4. The money's good, and it fits a need. So for me, it checks all the boxes, minus your point there, Wally, that he's not a right shot defenseman. So I like the move a lot. I think it's a big upgrade. I think it's a job well done by Senators management.
I could not agree more. What I like most about the trade is that you did not delete from your team, right? Like
Yes.
you have something going, right? And Yorkie, like, I mean, you can say this, like, if you're going into the trade deadline and you're feeling good about your team and you did not delete from the team in any sense, these guys are pumped, right? To have him come in and just say, hey, just add to what we got going, just whatever it is. So I would never, for me anyway, I don't split up Chabot and Zub, but I really, really think that you have a really complimentary piece to Sanderson. I think that you have a really, really good top 4 right now. And you know, the money makes it work. Like, Pierre hit a home run here. And I'm not a Pierre fan. Everybody knows that, but he hit an absolute home run here. This is a great contract. This is a great player, and a player that nobody wants to come to Ottawa. We know that. We've talked about that. This is the guy that would want to come here. And you got a player that you could probably extend, but I mean, those decisions are down the road. But like, this is a home run all the way around, Wally.
Yeah. This is Bobby shooting 71.
Right, so
this is Bobby shooting 71 yesterday. It's an absolute slam dunk.
One under par.
So
one under par.
Here's the question I have for you guys is, who moves to the right then? I just typically assume it's going to be Chychrun because he's the veteran who's played some of it there.
It's going to be Chychrun.
Do you move Sanderson?
It's going to be Chychrun.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, it's going to be Chychrun. Yeah.
Hey,
I'll let the
defenseman
defenseman answer it, but yeah.
Yes, I'm with you, Bob. You don't mess with what Sanderson's done so far this year. He's had such a great year. He's had so much success in his first year. Lead him on the left side. Chychrun hasn't done it a lot this year, but he'll be able to do it. He can skate, he can make plays, he can move the puck, he's got experience. It's not going to be that tough. The only thing that's going to be tough for Chychrun is probably tonight. He's going to play on adrenaline because he hasn't played. Arizona's been healthying him because they were trying to trade him, so that's going to be tough. But I think his first game, in saying that, will be fine because he's going to be pumped too. Like, he's went from playing in front of 4,000 fans in a not even sold out college stadium to jumping in to MSG. There's some playoff ramifications on the line, and this team, I'll tell you, there's nothing like it, Bobby. You know, you've been traded before. When you come in, and the guys are just so fired up to have you come into the locker room, and that energy. Hey, New York's the same. They got Patty Kane tonight, so hey, the Sens, New York tonight. It's must see television, boys. Like, this is exciting.
You gotta love it, yeah. You gotta love that, yeah.
Derick Brassard, right? His 1,000th game.
Yeah,
1,000 games.
Cam Talbot's in goal,
just
like
flying under the radar.
Like, he's been overshadowed now.
Yeah. And he's been a great
that
pickup,
atmosphere at MSG is going to be phenomenal. Yeah, Derick Brassard, no question.
And don't forget,
and we'll get to him in a sec. I just want to finish off.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to finish off on the Chychrun stuff before we get on to Derick Brassard and whatever else is going on, because there's a ton of stuff. Like, the stuff I started with in this show yesterday afternoon, all got scrapped as I started, and then the trade happened. So there's lots going on. The other thing is, when it comes to Jakob Chychrun, and we joke about it, but it's another player whose dad played in the NHL on the Ottawa Senators. It just seems like it's a natural fit. I would love to see the alumni game for the Ottawa Senators and the dads, right? Like, that's a great group of talent. Time for Renfrew Pro's tail of the tape, if you will. We've just done one for Jakob Chychrun to let people know a little bit more about Chick, as we call him. He was drafted 16th overall in 2016. That, by the way, is 5 picks after Logan Brown was selected by Ottawa. 18 to lead all defensemen in scoring in goals in 2020, 2021. 2, which is Dallas and Pittsburgh, are the only 2 teams he has not recorded a point against. And 28, which is points in 36 games this season. He's had a great season minus the injury, but when he's been on the ice, he's put up points. He's looked very good. And I just like the grit that he brings. I think this was exactly what they needed in that size. What does it do for the locker room? Because you just talked about it, Bobby, about they didn't subtract. And it was, we heard from Derick Brassard earlier this week, just say, hey, Pierre, we want some help in this group. We think there's a chance that we can push for that playoff spot. We've played well enough to get us 5 points in. And then Pierre says today, you know what? I promised Claude Giroux I would add a top 4D. Whether I could be lip service, I have no idea. But he did go and do it. So what does the room feel like right now?
Pierre has to stop that shit anyway. We have to talk about that. Like you're the GM. You're not promising anybody anything except Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, a couple other players, right? Like, stop. You're bringing Claude Giroux in. It's fine. We don't need to be part of your 5th proudest day of being a GM. Just stop, you know? So that being said, I do think that they were, I mean, they put a really good top 4 out right now. You know, when you bring him in, with Zubin, Shabby, and then him and Sanderson, you know, your 5-6 has to shake out a certain way, but this, and I don't think it was Brassard's comments. I think that they were in on, we've all known that they've been on Chick for a long period of time, but I'm really, really excited about what this is right now for them. Like it elevates them in every sense. And even if he has to play in his backhand, that's fine. He can do that. I think we know that he can do that. This is a big time player that, you know, that got at it for pretty marginal contract for a long period of time. Like this team just got better for not this year, but what do you think, Yorkie? 2-3 years?
Well, Bobby, one of the other reason I really love this move, and I've said this from the beginning, Ottawa right now, whether they make the playoffs this year or not, to me it's insignificant because now they're playing some games where there's a little pressure now. There's some pressure. Guys are going to get way better from being part of this little run. It's the games of now, like tonight, for example. Tonight's game is going to have a different kind, you know, this Bobby, you've played in games like this before. There's going to be a different kind of energy, a different kind of pressure, and then you can really evaluate, and then it makes you better. Like games like this are humongous for a guy like Tim Stützle. He's 21 years old. He's the man. He's got to go out there and do a Brady Tkachuk. Thomas Chabot. This is awesome for Thomas Chabot because as long as he's been here, he really hasn't played in a lot of meaningful games. So regardless of the playoffs,
none.
Yeah. So there you go. So regardless, this is going to pay dividends next year. I think the Ottawa Senators are a slam dunk for the playoffs. Then they build off that, and I really believe the year after, they might be able to make a run at things here. You got Claude Giroux in his last year. Chychrun's going to be in his last year unless they extend him. And then you got a group that's grown together, been through some battles, probably been through a playoff series or two. And who knows, they could do it next year. But I think if you look at the progression, the normal progression of most teams, the Senators are on a great trajectory right now. And the other thing, I think, Bobby, you mentioned it, Chychrun's age, he just fits in so well with the dynamics of the group, age, grow together. Giroux's here, and Giroux's not slowing down anytime soon. So I think it's going to be great this year, next year, but especially 3 years from now when these teams, when most of these players are ready to like be right in their prime.
Yeah, can you put that graphic back up for a second? So Wally, I'm like, I've been a major proponent of this team not making the playoffs. I just don't think they do. But look right now, right? Buffalo has a game in hand. I get it. Pittsburgh's going to find their way in. They just do, you know? New York Islanders have 4 games played over top of the Sens. Yeah. Like this is like they're gonna leapfrog them. They're out, you know? And I would like, I don't know. Would you like to see them finish in that last place where the Sabres are right now? It's a difference of 1 pick and it's 2 home games or maybe 5 home games, whatever it might be. There's not a scenario where these guys don't make the playoffs, but they have to continue going. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying, we've had different conversations. About a month ago, we were like, not a chance. And now we're talking about maybe there is a chance. I kind of like that.
Yeah. It's the old, so you're telling me there's a chance. There is.
Right? Yeah.
Those two, well, look what those two games in Detroit did. They just turned Steve Eisner and the Red Wings into sellers. They basically said, you guys are done. You're now sellers. And Ottawa turned into buyers, but buyers with the future in mind, which is the great part of Chychrun. So I know we can't put the schedule up right now, but the other thing about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, a lot of the other teams are playing one another. So as long as it's not a 3-point game, like you got Buffalo in particular has a very difficult schedule coming up. But Ottawa right now, you win these next couple of games. Tonight's game is huge. Tonight's game is enormous. Then you got a winnable game against Columbus. You got a winnable game against Chicago. Seattle will be tough. And then that Western road trip, that to me is going to be very difficult because Vancouver, they're not going to have the same kind of pressure, but they're trying to play well for a new coach. Calgary's fighting for their lives. Edmonton's much improved. And you got Colorado. The schedule gets a lot more difficult after these next 3 games. So Ottawa needs to do really well. Like, to me, like, you got to get out of your 6 points, you need 5 here. If you want to stay relevant in this race, you need 5.
I'm looking at that schedule going, the boys don't have a night at the Roxy. They might sweep the trip.
I heard nobody goes to the Roxy anymore. I was very disappointed to hear that. I heard the guys now rent out bars and they go to their own places, or the Roxy.
Not me, brother. Wasn't me. I had a touch of old school with me on my way out.
I love it, Bobby. I love it. You and I should have played together.
Yeah, once upon a time. Yeah. But I actually, so they play Chicago, and I don't think they're going to come home between that trip, right? So you're essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're on the road for 14 days, 12 days, sorry. Chicago all the way through Edmonton. And then, I mean, you can actually attest to this. By the end of that, you're playing Calgary and Edmonton and just going, just get me home kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be a huge trip for them. There's no way around it. It's a huge, huge trip for them, but they have to win. The Rangers or whatever, I'm not doing lock of the day yet, but the Rangers with Patty Kane coming in are probably going to wax them tonight. But you have to win in Columbus.
Listen, wait for that.
Sorry. There's too much going on in New York not to be really excited about. But no, this team's right there. They're right there now, and they just got way better.
Okay. All right, so there's still maybe some moves left to be made. We don't know that perhaps there's some small deals for Pierre Dorion still to fill out. I don't know. Maybe Austin Watson. Frank Cervelli doesn't think they'll trade Cam Talbot now that they're in the middle of this playoff hunt. But I'm going to ask both of you right now on the record, do the Ottawa Senators make the playoffs? Bobby.
No. Yorkie's first. No, not doing it. The smartest man in hockey is way first here. But what do you think, Yorkie?
My only concern for the Ottawa Senators, they're still as much as I love Tim Stützle, I think he's been so good this year. I'm a little concerned down the middle. That's my thing. When these games get tight and you get into some of those games, but hey, and the record too. If you look at the law of averages, they've been so good the last little while. One of the best teams in the National Hockey League for, I don't know, the last, whatever it's been, 3 weeks. Can you keep that torrid pace up? Statistics, history says, no, you cannot, because you're going to lose some games that you probably should win, right? You get a fluky one off someone's skate. It's just hockey. You guys know this. Well, you've been covering the game so long, Bobby, you played. There's games where the puck just doesn't bounce your way, and you're like, wow, should have won that game. So I'm going to stick to my original prediction. I'm not going to go back on it. I think the Senators, as much as I'd love to see them in, I think they're going to miss by just this much. And I think it's just that much, Bobby. And to me, it's not going to be a disappointment. It's not going to be a failure because, like I said earlier, this is going to be great for this young core. But I still think they just missed by a hair. But in the end, it's still good for them.
I could not agree more. I think that they're going to finish in 18th place, which is the worst place. You know, seven. Like I don't mean to say it. I'm just saying that they're going to be. And I don't think that you can deny that this team took some major strides this year. Like, you know, Brady is a captain, whether we know it or not, probably took a lot more strides than we know in the room, right? And we already know that he can drag people into the fight based on the way he is. But I'm telling you right now that this team has gotten a lot better this year. And that might have to be the win that we hang our hat on. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, no.
Yeah.
Well, I said in the summer that they would.
What do you think?
I said in the summer they would make the playoffs. I'm going to stick to it. So.
Oh, now you're changing your mind. You said like a month ago they had no chance.
Well, they did.
Oh, now you're changing. Now you're changing. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're that guy.
Genius, Wally?
Yeah, I've covered politics. I know.
You look like a politician.
You just have to.
That hair of yours.
It's called electable hair. Okay, so before we move on, listen.
You know it's a podcast. You're supposed to wear like a ball cap or something. Have you ever worn a ball cap?
I've worn one. I wore a toque one time only once on TV because it was so cold and so snowy at a Red Blacks game. That's the only time I've ever worn a hat. No, can't do it. I would freeze my ears off first.
I have a good buddy who's a hairdresser. He says you're gonna keep your hair, by the way, because when you wear a hat all the time, you go bald. True fact.
I was one time I was in covering a football game. Yeah, Bobby, by the way, yeah, you're the Head and Shoulders guy, so you don't have anything to worry about.
Guys, cannot complain. Apparently, I'm really, really, really good looking. I'm just kidding. It's
got Eddie Munster hair. It's so thick.
I hope that people know I'm kidding when I say that.
No, he's dead serious, people. Bobby never jokes. Okay, so at the beginning of the show, I asked people if we got enough likes, who would do the sponsor reads. So, Bobby, you're up first. You've been awarded the BEI sponsor read because people want you to say aggregate.
Oh, there's pressure now.
All right, I'm in. Put it up there.
Okay, here we go.
This show, not loosely held together, but I'm telling you, we're going a different way. BEI, Bonachère Excavating, heavy civil general contractor. They've been helping shape the Ottawa Valley for a very, very long time, guys. And when you're planning your next project, consider BEI for your carry the one aggregate supply needs. Okay. www.Bonachère. Oh, you can't say that. Bonachère. You know what? I don't know, guys. I feel like
just give them a call.
If you got laborers, mechanics, concrete structure team, quality control tech, you know what? These are the guys. Bonachère Excavating. Plug.
Okay. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna go right into Renfrew Pro Tape.
Wait a
I'm
second.
not even gonna address this.
I could have told a story about the green core or whatever that Yorkie did, and I didn't go there. I apologize, guys.
Nope. People voted for you to do BEI. I got to give the people what they want.
Well done.
All right, Yorkie's up.
What do I got today?
You got Renfrew Pro.
Oh, all right. Well, once again,
here we go.
Once again, big thank you to our sponsors from Renfrew Pro Hockey Tape. And as always, I got to use Wally's line here. This show is loosely held together by Renfrew Pro Tape. Got all kinds of colors, patterns, whatever you want. Fill your boots. It's the best tape you can get. RenfrewPro.com. Available at all major retailers. Bingo! How do you like that, Wally?
Make sure you follow them on Instagram for Free Tape Friday.
Oh, shit, I forgot that.
That's Renfrew Pro on Instagram. Feel the game with Renfrew Pro. Okay, here we're moving on. You know what? Derick Brassard. I feel like this whole show could be just on the game tonight with all the stuff that's going on. Bob, you played with Derick Brassard. Yorkie, I know you know him. He gets to 1,000 games. I don't know if you saw. They all had T-shirts on today. They gave him a Rolex watch in the locker room. He was a little emotional about it. He's just a really well-liked guy. Anytime I've been around him, and you're a teammate of his, Bobby. You can tell me what he's been like to be around.
Actually, just exactly what you said. Well-liked. Kind of just always one of those guys that goes about his business, works, grinds. You don't play 1,000 games if you don't do any of those things. But to be well liked by like I could not think of a single person that would say a negative word about him. It's just one of those guys. Gear nerd, I will say that. Loves his skates, sticks, gloves, all that kind of stuff. I did not see eye to eye with him on any of that kind of stuff. But just a genuinely good person. I saw Mess tweet earlier where he could be in like Simple Plan or My Chemical Romance. I was like, yeah, that's exactly Brass before I knew him very, very well. To play 1,000 games in the league, we've all talked about it. It's an insane number. It's an incredible accomplishment. But to do it where he did it, like he's bounced around, right? Like, and if you bounce around, I think that a reputation follows you. His reputation is solidified and intact because he's just such a good person. So I'm really, really excited for him tonight. And it kind of sucks that it's getting overshadowed by Chychrun and Kane and things like that. I will tell you what, MSG will not feel that way. They love big game brass down there.
Yeah. So does Mark Mathot, by the way, your old co-host, Wally. He needs to start getting a percentage of Brass's contract. He's
right.
He's in the big game brass fan club. But I never played with Derick Brassard. I've just watched him since I've been retired and how he's played the game. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough to stick around the league that long when you're not a superstar. But he's smart enough to have figured out to do some of the little things really well. And he's still a pretty good power play guy too, fellas. He's really good on that power play at making quick little plays around the net. So came in on a PTO, earned a spot, and now I'm watching him play, and I'm like, I'm not taking this guy out of the lineup as these games get bigger because I don't think you can. I just like what I love what he brings in that bottom six, and if you ever get an injury up top, you can slide him up. So, great career, awesome, and he's going to get to do it in MSG. Love the shirts, part owner too of the Gatineau Olympics, so he's probably going to work in hockey after he's done. But no, it's going to be awesome. But the one thing I wanted to add: how happy is Julien Gauthier today? He's just going to slide into MSG for his first game back, and two things: he's either going to have to put up a lot of money on the board, or guys are just going to forget about him. I'll take the. They're probably going to pressure him in the way, Bobby. They'll be all over him.
Oh yeah.
You know, Brass is going to put up a lot of money. You know, Chychrun's putting up a lot of money, and then Gauthier is going to come in there.
Hey,
guys are going to be all over him.
How much money's on the other side with Kane playing his first home game?
Oh, boys. That's a big
10
one.
grand? Easy. It's an easy day. It's an easy 10 grand for him.
Well, in New York, everything's double, right? Maybe more. Yeah. Maybe more.
Throw 20 on. Throw a couple iPads on the board for the boys.
He makes 10 mil. I'm sure he can do 20 grand.
Yeah, he's not hurting.
Nobody does. Nobody. I've never seen 20 grand. I've never seen more than like 5 or 6. But like at the same time, he's putting a lot. He's putting up. Yorkie, you can say this: 2,500 team, 2,500 trainers, 2,500 personal.
Wow. GWG
what do you think?
Too, maybe?
Okay, what?
Yeah, I was going to say.
When you went to Anaheim,
yeah.
How much did you put up for Anaheim?
It was 7 grand. Total.
That's a nice
Interesting
number.
number.
That's a nice number.
Yeah, 7 grand. Yeah, 7 grand. I and then we got waxed. But
I'll put that right back in here.
Hey, Yorkie, where you get to the shootout and you're like, if they score one more than us.
So Derick Brassard has scored 48 goals, the most in his career at MSG. The most in any building, 135 games there, which is the second most just to Nationwide Arena where he was drafted. Does Derick Brassard, who loved playing in New York, score in tonight's game playing on a tough fourth line position? Bobby.
Ooh, tough one.
Oh, Bobby, no. Or just a no. I'm gonna play the odds on that one. No.
It's Shesterkin's in tonight. I would have to believe you want to win this one. Shesterkin's getting the start. I'm going to say he might get an assist on the power play. Maybe on that second unit. Maybe an assist.
Fair. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, but even
I'm gonna go with
it's
no.
tough, man. Yeah, I'm going to go no goal too. It'd be great. Hey, listen, but if you're going to be the analytical prediction, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
All right. So what would the atmosphere be like? Because you've got Patrick Kane playing at Broadway, which was supposed to have been the big trade all along. He joins Vladimir Tarasenko, so there's a little bit of buzz from that. Derick Brassard, who you got to think is in the starting lineup, right? So they're going to play that fourth line right off the top, and maybe against Patty Kane. Do they do it like? Does DJ do that?
Yeah, you have to.
I gotta think he starts, right?
Yeah. Even if you throw him on the,
this is a game you'd love to be in.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, this is. I actually can't wait to watch this. Brass starts, even if you put him alongside Brady and whoever for a shift, you just put him out there. You make sure he starts. I think that's because it would be one thing if he was playing the Devils on a Tuesday. It's gonna be electric tonight. I can't wait to see it.
Well, don't forget too. Last time they were in MSG, you had that big tilt between Brady and Trouba, right? Like, so this is round two. Do Brady and Trouba go back to center ice? And like two guys that, man, that game's going to be tough to top. That was one of the most electric games I've seen all season long. So yeah, Brass starts for sure. One thing about DJ, and we haven't even talked about DJ very much, guys, because he has a great feel for players. He played the game. He's 100% going to start him. So for sure he's starting.
Yeah, and if you know what though, DJ has that feel, but at the same time, if he didn't, Brady would walk right in that room and say, "This fucking guy's starting." Like it's just the way that Brady is too. You have to recognize.
He won't need to. He won't need to. I don't think.
I don't think so. Bobby. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I actually really appreciated about that with DJ. Veteran guys take precedence on his teams. So yeah, and you know what? Actually, I shouldn't say veteran guys. Moments take precedence.
I would say this too about because DJ's been crapped on most of the year here. He really has on social media and everything. Like he's taken some pretty good gut punches all year. To where the Ottawa is right now as a team, to be in this position, to actually go out and make a deal of this magnitude. I know it helps for the future. You got to give the coaching staff some credit because they've got the team to this point with your number one center being hurt, not a great defensive core most of the year. That had Zub missed some significant amount of time to make the defensive core even that much weaker. So they've done a pretty good job. So it's amazing how quiet things have gotten about the fire DJ chance. Like just let's kind of quiet it down in a hurry, and I'd say rightfully so.
No, I don't think he. And you can weigh in. Actually, I just saw that Edmonton just grabbed Nick Bustad.
Whoa,
which I think is a really, really good trade for them.
Big dude.
Yeah, he's if you're gonna send him out there in the 3-4 center role, he's a big, heavy guy, which I like. But we were talking about this DJ, and you have to think about this. DJ has not really gotten to shape this team to what he wants it to shape it because he's been so worried about developing guys, right? Yeah. And having guys come along. Now he gets to, finally put a stamp on this and say, hey, this is what my team's going to be. And I think his team is going to be what Brady is like, hey, lunch pail, we're going to outwork you. We have some skill, with Timmy and Shabby and Bath and all those guys, but we're gonna be a grindstone team. So I think that DJ has a pretty long leash to do that right now.
Did you guys remember the shot or the video of I think it was DeBrincat and Giroux at the whiteboard with DJ for 15 minutes or so after practice, which you guys are well aware that's not very common to see. Can we maybe say that's the turning point of the season of where things may have changed? I don't know what was said at the whiteboard. For all I know, they could have been talking about making a map of I don't know,
I was
Gatineau
gonna
Park.
say,
But
yeah.
I'm just saying,
No,
like it would appear that something had happened at that point.
nothing changed at that whiteboard. He was just looking at things that said, "Hey, I'm going to bring two really, really veteran guys in here that have scored at every level and talk to them." Nothing changed. I don't think he's giving them any more latitude to make plays the blue. Like I don't think anything's changed. And Yorkie, you can weigh in on this, but I would say that the team looks better below the dotted lines to me. That's about all I would say.
Yeah. I would say a couple things. The biggest change the Ottawa Senators made, Tim Stützle took a huge step. Like if anybody's watched the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month, he's been one of the best players in NHL. And I say that
I would agree. Yeah.
Offensively, still has some issues defensively, but if you watch the games, he looks way better than everybody else on the ice. Obviously, Brady Tkachuk is playing a different kind of game. It's leadership, it's grit, it's just being, and that's the thing I really like about Ottawa right now. Their two best forwards are totally different. You got this big bull of a captain in Tkachuk that's got this will to win. He's great around the perimeter and sort of the inside, and he can make plays and he hits and fights. And then you got this budding superstar that seems to be able to do whatever he wants when he has the puck. So that's what changed to me. That fight at MSG, the way Brady's been playing, and the evolution of Tim Stützle has been to me the two biggest things. And listen,
Very valid.
Also, Wally, nobody knew what was going to happen when Sogard came in. Like it could have went south. Both goalies out. So I don't think you got to give Sogard credit, and even Mandolese. They had those two games where they both stopped a shitload of shots, and Senators didn't play that well in both of those games. That was like, we started talking about the Hamburglar and all that stuff, but those two young goalies, they did something special, and Sogard's continued to play well. So we'll monitor him and see how he does. But so far, man, he's been a great story.
Yeah, I would agree.
NHL Rookie of the Month.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I want to ask about Austin Watson before we move on, and that's, does he stay or do you move him? Now, keep in mind, and Pierre said it, is that the Chychrun deal was kind of made for next year and the year after. Like, they're not, I don't think the Ottawa Senators management team is all in on this year. I think they understand they have a chance, but they're not going to maybe go all in compared to building this for next year. And do they move Austin Watson, who, by the way, I think he's looked great. And I've always been a Watson fan. But his last couple of games have been outstanding.
Performance, but I'm just saying what that person is supposed to give you is exactly what he's given you. He stands up for his guys, he hits, he works, he grinds, and from what I've understood is that he's unanimously liked in the room. Like the guys. So to me, right now, like I mean, Yorkie, you may feel different. What are you going to get from a 4th round pick? Probably not much, right? Keep him. Just put him in the room and let him stay in the room. Do not delete from this team and what they're doing at this moment. That's unless somebody gives you a 1st round pick for something, then you think about it, right? But at the same time, right now you don't delete from this group, do you?
Well, I watched Austin Watson after he scored his 2 goals. Interviewed, side of his nose was all cut and bleeding, and you knew he went back into that dressing room, and the guys probably gave him the biggest cheer. Like, he's not getting too many, whatever he was, 1st or 2nd star awards. I'm not trading this guy. I'm not trading him for a 4th round pick, 5th round pick. I'm not. And one of the things he does, Bobby, is he's pretty good on the penalty kill. He's been great on the penalty kill. And they don't have enough guys in their bottom 6 that have experience and that have been in pressure situations, and that he has a presence. He has a presence on the ice. When he's on the ice, the other team knows he's out there. And the other guys,
sorry
sorry
to interrupt,
I'm not
but
moving.
I will say, he has a way of backing off other defensemen by the way he skates too. If you ever notice, like the way that the puck goes in, I mean, you can like, do you know that as a defenseman when he's on the ice? Like, you might know, but he
Well,
has a way of backing them off by skating the middle of the ice very, very well.
that, and I also know he's going to chip the puck on me and come in and try and run me. So I'm like,
He's not cutting to the middle. He's not cutting to the middle.
I know my mental notebook's telling me Bobby Ryan's not dumping it in, so I'm going to stand him up. But Austin Watson, he's got the stick on auto dump. It's going in, and he's going to try and run me through the boards. So he's backing me up that way. I'm going active
you
stick
close
on
the
Bobby,
gap.
Bobby Ryan, though. On you, though, I'm standing up with the stick, and you're going to try and put it through my legs, and then...
I love that. I love that. It's nice to know at 36 that I kept guys guessing.
Yep.
By the way, Halak should be confirmed starter for tonight's game, but only because they played last night, and Shesterkin played in that game. And I think he's played like three straight.
Gotcha.
Which reminds me, you know what? Let's just get right to lock of the day now and get it out of the way, because I do want to point out, I want to talk about Arizona for a second afterwards. Thomas Chabot makes more money than the entire Arizona defense combined at the moment. It's just I think it's a farce what's going on. All right, so lock of the day brought to you by Betano. Go to Betano.ca. Download the app. The game starts now with Betano. Use their online betting casino. All kinds of stuff going on with Betano. And proud partners of Coming In Hot. Glad to have them aboard. And for today, this is an interesting game. Like, we've talked about it throughout the show, and obviously the Rangers are the favorites in this one. You've got Patrick Kane, as we've talked about, Jakob Chychrun, Derick Brassard, Cam Talbot playing. Brady Tkachuk, by the way, in 5 games has 9 points at MSG, 4 multi-point games. Loves playing on Broadway. So I guess, Yorkie, we get to still go with you first as the bearer of the golden helmet.
I got to go first again.
Who do you pick in this game, Yorkie?
Who's starting for the Ottawa Senators tonight between the pipes? Is it Cam Talbot?
It should be Cam Talbot. Yeah, he was in the starter's end. And if you want, I can tell you, versus the New York Rangers at MSG, he's 3-2, but he's won his last 3 starts, all with a 926 or higher save percentage.
Wow. Here's the one thing about the Rangers, and they've made a lot of big moves. They brought in Kane, they brought in Tarasenko, they got Zbad, they've got Panarin. So, Bobby, do they not have a lot of the same thing up front? I know they're great players, but who's going in to get the puck? Like, who's going to be first on the puck and first back on the back check? That's my thing with the Rangers right now. Like, I don't know, what do you think?
You guys got me?
Did I lose you guys? Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh man, lock of the day on this one.
And we'll point out, and I forget, Ryan Hindman just reminded me, the Rangers couldn't use their emergency recall, as you guys are playing 12 forwards 5D tonight.
Okay, I'm taking Ottawa. I'm taking Ottawa, boys. I'm going no Shesterkin. Cam Talbot's record. Thanks for telling me that, Wally. I think the excitement of Chychrun, they're rolling. They play well in MSG. I am going with the Ottawa Senators. They're going to make the playoff race that more tight.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm disagreeing for a different reason, or I'm agreeing for a different reason. So I'm taking the Sens, but I think that there's going to be, and there's a learning curve when you have that many talented people. So if Kaner's in, even though he's played with Panarin, there is a learning curve. There is a learning curve when to pass, when to shoot, when to make decisions differently. That's going to weigh on them heavily. So I'm taking, I'm all in on the Sens too.
All right, Wally, you're gonna go against the Sens for the 4th time in a row. You always take the other team.
I'm getting hammered by that. So this is a tough. Like, MSG is going to be hopping. There's going to be a ton of buzz from Patty Kane arriving.
Yep.
I am still going to take the Ottawa Senators and the will of Brady Tkachuk to punch them all in the face.
All right, we're on the.
So there you go. Yeah, this will be another one of these nights. Brady Tkachuk is going to run somebody over. Austin Watson won't be fighting, right? Because of his cut on his face. By the way, Yorkie, here's my question about this 5D thing. Is it that big a deal? Because sometimes guys, there might be a 6D who plays 8 minutes a night.
Yeah. Well, somebody's playing 30 now with 5D, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal in a game of this magnitude with this much pressure. That's a very hot building as well. MSG. Ice isn't always the best. It's sometimes the ice is shit in there. So it's
always horrible, isn't it?
It's always horrible. So the strides you take in MSG are a lot more taxing than some other buildings. Yeah. So it's 5D is a big deal. And I'm with Bobby too. I still think, I don't think the Rangers are a great playoff team. I don't think
so either. Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't like the mix. They got too much. Like, there's not enough power play time. There's not enough puck, and there's not enough for how many skilled guys they have now. I like Patty Kane a lot, but who's forechecking?
He didn't make your team better. And that's, we'll go into that. But he didn't make your team better. Because now all of a sudden you have Panarin who's sliding down, especially when you think about the power play. Kaner's a stagnant power play guy. That is a very, very fluid power play with Fox moving side to side and Zibanejad and Panarin moving up. And then who are you taking off? I don't know. Who are you moving to the bumper? I don't dislike the trade. I think it was a good trade. For a second and a fourth, I'll take Patty Kane. Holy hell, sure. Kyle Davidson drafting and trading her heart, bud? But
so
nonetheless, I'm just gonna say that I don't like that team a ton either. I don't get it.
So think about this for a sec, fellas. We're gonna expand the minds here. As bad as the injury was for Josh Norris this year, it was the best thing that ever could have happened for Tim Stützle. It was the best thing that could have happened for him.
Yeah, right.
Because he's not having the season he's having if Josh Norris doesn't get hurt. And that's just how hockey is. You have to have opportunities to take that next step in your career to become that dominant centerman. So and Josh is a great player. Tim Stützle is a great player. But remember how the Senators power play struggled at the beginning? You had 1A, you had 1B. Who's on the first power play? Who's not? That was an issue, and I see that for the Rangers. I see the same thing for the Rangers where it's too much of the same thing, and then you go into problems. Yeah. So we'll see.
You got a lot of cooks in the kitchen right there, but you didn't address the fact
a lot of cookie monsters.
You only have a
lot of cookie monsters.
Yeah. And not very many good defensemen. So that team's a bounce in the first round, no matter what. We're gonna just shit all over the Rangers. I'll be getting death threats from North Jersey.
Oh, they come after you, man. They're gonna come for you.
That's all right.
Listen, Wally,
can't get through the gates, Yorkie?
They're always listening. Bobby, you're probably in a triple gated community. Not one, not two. You got 3 gates in there. No one's getting in.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, a couple of quick points before I go. One, I want to ask you, Andre Miller is sitting out the game due to spitting on Drew Doughty. As players in the game, and he got 3 games, I thought he should, I don't know, I guess I think there should be suspension, should always be higher. What's the reaction around the league when something like that happens? It reminds me of maybe the Brendan Lemieux biting incident with Tkachuk, kind of in the same.
Brady.
Okay.
I actually watched it a few times, and I went back to watch it because I wanted to give and I think that, as the most recent guy, that I'm always going to give bias to the player. But I will say that I don't think he meant it. When you look at his eyes and the intent, I think that was just where he was at, and he just went and whatever. It just happened to be really, really shitty timing. I don't think he did it. I don't know the player. I don't know the guy. I know Doughty's kind of a shithead. So he might have crossed the line. I love Doughty, by the way, but I played years, and he pushes a lot of the wrong buttons. I don't think he meant it. I think he's losing a lot of money in the next couple days, and I think 3 games is very, very justified. I don't think it's more. It just didn't seem that malicious to me.
You're asking the wrong guy. I've been bit in the finger in scrums. I've tried guys try to scratch my eyes out. I've it's
you gotta get out of get out of those, pal.
Oh God, I know. It's I won't get into it, but I didn't watch the clip. I've just heard DeAndre is a great dude. It's just out of character. So, and here's the thing: guys are smart now. There's so many cameras on you. The refs are right there. There's audio. You'd have to be pretty dumb to do that because you're not getting away with it. You're not getting away with it if you meant to do it. So,
yeah, but sometimes you lose your mind.
But
I don't think he did.
I'll tell you what, spitting.
He looks pretty composed, so easy Wally. Yeah.
I would be shocked if he did it on purpose, but whatever.
By the way, the Tkachuk family agrees with you, Bobby, on the Drew Doughty. Anything to do with Drew Doughty, the Tkachuk family will agree with you on.
Not fans.
You've seen those guys going at it. When a player
he's got more
reaches
cups in the family,
games,
though.
Well, it's a good point for now. YT Baldwin wanted me to ask you, Bobby, if the Sens win the Stanley Cup, do you get a ring since you're still on the payroll?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. They're giving me a couple million right now. I feel like I should,
Yeah. Just something to keep in the back of your mind.
I don't think so, but I can tell you one thing: I'll be at the parade.
Okay, when a player gets to 1,000 games, how much money is the most that you guys have had to spend on a gift?
Oh, boy.
What do you think, Yorkie? Like 1,500 for me, or not? Like 1,500 per player. I remember we had to I had to give Alfie a gift for retirement, and I was like, I haven't even played with the guy. I don't even know the guy, but they asked me for 1,500, which I had to donate to fly him and his family somewhere. And I'm like, this guy, I don't even know the guy. But that was I remember that
Bobby,
was the highest.
Were you there for David Legwand? Were you there for Legwand?
Yeah, I was there. I played with Leggy. Yeah.
He showed. I think he played 5 games, and then he got his 1,000th in Ottawa. So you guys all had to shell out for him.
They did. Most of the team did not. So myself and Craig Anderson took a lot of that bill on our own, just to take care of Leggy. Yeah. But nonetheless, I remember I'm like, I didn't play with Alfie. I got traded here the same day Alfie left for Detroit, and I'm still paying $1,500 to fly you and your family to Hawaii or whatever.
Bobby, you gotta
listen.
Did you get a retirement gift from anybody?
You signed like a $59 million contract.
Who did me?
Yeah. Alfie
leaving
brought you in.
Actually, hey, they gave me a couple bananas and they said, hey, this guy's got 51 clams coming. We'll just hit him up for everything. But I will say,
man,
take $1,500 for Alfie. Sure, go ahead. No, I have not officially retired. I have to do that soon.
Me neither. I haven't retired yet either. I never signed the papers.
Did you ever?
That's
it.
I just went off. I just went off into the night and was forgot about. No present, no gifts, no nothing.
I actually told you guys for the show. I was like, hey guys, I want to kind of do this on the show, whatever. And then texted my agent. He goes, yeah, we don't really have to. You're kind of a loser. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say to you. I'm like, I don't think you have to announce it. You just, unless you're well, don't take this the wrong way. Unless you're a Hall of Famer, people just kind of go away.
I don't know. Some people do it on Twitter.
Some
people do it on. Some people still do it.
I'm not really doing much of that. I just kind of want to ride off into the sunset. But I will say that I had actually requested at the same time to sign my papers, and he said, "Would you mind waiting till after World Juniors to not take from the kids?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And then we just never circled back. So we're gonna sign those things next week.
Well, there better be video of it so we can put it in the show.
You guys,
I'll do mine too. I still haven't signed mine yet.
Actually,
so we'll do a double. We'll do a double.
Yorkie, actually, Let's do it together. Maybe if you make it, hey, I'll find out next week if I'm going to make it the member guest, and I guess we got to bring Wally too. But we'll we'll have a night. We'll come down here and do it together.
I'll drive the cart.
Deal.
All right. I had one thought and I lost it. So that's what's the other stuff that you guys expect to see tomorrow? And sorry, I wanted to bring up Arizona, and that was to do with tomorrow and what all Arizona has been doing. Listen, if you play for the Arizona Coyotes, does everybody just want out at this point? Unless, like, I know Clayton Keller's making 7-point-something million. He's doing okay playing in the desert, but 56% of their salary is tied up in like LTIRs and buyouts and all that other stuff. That's at some point, this has to be a joke, no?
Yeah. Can you guys get my contract sent down there so I don't have to pay Canadian taxes in Ontario for next year? But at the same time, every single guy wants out of there. And I've talked to a few that have played there, and they're just like, right now, just get me out. Just get me out and let me go play real hockey. Yeah.
I was just down there, and you don't hear peep about the Coyotes. They're not even selling out a 5,000 seat venue. They can't sell it out. Nobody cares. And to make matters worse, it snowed the other day in Phoenix, and it snowed again today. So the weather used to be great. So now it's brutal. But why would you want to play there? The only guy that would want to play there is maybe an older guy with a family that wants to save on taxes and he just wants to ride it out. But if you're a young guy that wants to win, you want out. You want out.
I called them for a 1 year. At the end of it, I was like, "Yeah, I'll do 1 year there. Yeah, $750, sure." yeah.
Well, why didn't they do that? Did they not return the call?
Bear called me, who's the coach there, Andre, and he's like, he's like, Bobby, I cannot take another 35-year-old. I have Vlad. I have this. He's like, I'm just out of options. I was like, yeah, your team's terrible, but it is what it is.
Fair enough. He's in such a tough spot.
Yeah, he's a good coach too. I feel bad for him.
I think so too. Yeah. I agree.
Bobby, there's one thing that keeps showing up, and I've seen it a couple times in previous shows, and then there's again today. People want to know about your goal against Nashville, which I think is you victimized David Legwand.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Leggy got hammered twice there, and then I danced him once, and then one more for good measure, and then I maybe threw one in on Pekka on the way in.
Was Leggy skating backwards?
No, Leggy turned the puck over and I knocked it out of the air. I remember I knocked Leggy's puck out of the air, and then it was just me and him. And he was skating forwards towards his own net. I'll never forget it. And years later, I talked to Shane O'Brien, who I had worked out with all the time, who was playing for Nashville. He's like, Bobby, as soon as you got to your backhand, I knew that guy was in a world of hurt. I'll never forget him saying that. So I went 1, 2, and I remember talking to Leggy about it years later, and he's like, I had nothing. I was either going to take the body or the puck, and I chose body, and you just went around that. So I had just I was suspended for games 3 and 4. That was game 5. I got suspended for kicking a guy and came back and scored that goal. And I remember I maybe had more text on that phone call than I did when I came back after my time away in Ottawa. That was probably the biggest goal of my career. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it was a big one. Yeah.
When I was
in
Nashville,
apologize?
Yeah, you should have apologized.
I didn't apologize because we still lost. Well, we lost the series, but I remember going through the handshake line, and Pekka, who's become somewhat of a friend, was like, "You just put me on every highlight reel for the rest of my life." I did. Yeah, sorry about that. I did. But you won the series, so we'll call it even.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll switch. Yeah.
So you knew Leggy when I knew Leggy and played with him when he was just coming, like he was a young guy and he was like the face of Nashville. But oh my God, this isn't even a hockey story. He was making pretty good money. he goes out and he buys. Remember when everyone was getting those convertible Mercedes with 2 doors?
Yeah.
So he goes to the lot and he goes and buys one. but it's like, it's not black, it's not silver, it's just like champagne colored. So we're all over him. He's so happy about this Mercedes he just bought. He's like, what do you think, guys? We're like, it's champagne colored. We started calling it the Champagne Mobile. We rode him for about a month until he finally traded it in for a black one. Cruising
That's
around
incredible.
in the Champagne Mobile. We called it for a month until he finally. What a beauty!
I saw him. I had him at the end of his career, and I think he played one more year in Buffalo after we had him. And I remember we had a 14-day road trip, right? So Leggy and I are all pumped. We're just, 14 days on the road with the boys, blah, blah, blah. And one of our young guys is like, one of our young guys goes, I don't really want to be away from my Xbox and my girlfriend that long. And Leggy goes over, I'll never forget it. He looks over and he goes, are these kids fucking kidding me? He's like, the hardest part about being, you know what the hardest part about being on the road is? Trying not to peel the tires on the way out of the driveway.
Okay,
I'm out.
who's the player?
I'm out. I'm not doing that. No, not doing that as a player.
Come on.
Very,
Is he still
very
a
active.
member of the Ottawa
Very,
Senators?
no. But
I'll
nobody
tell you-
is from that year.
Good point. Very good point. So you can
Guy could be
you can
anywhere.
sell him down the road. Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that. Never, because I would love to get him on the show sometime.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
Okay. Tyler Ennis it is. I'm kidding.
No. I'll tell you what, Enzo's got a lot of old school in him.
He is very entertaining. All right. We'll be back Monday. There's so much to talk about. Oh, you know what? If the Sens make trades tomorrow, any big news, we will be up live in a show. So we'll keep you posted. It'll be a 4:00 show if we do it. So
Do some
you
trade
guys may have to
stories.
work some overtime this week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't even get to trade deadline stories. So we will be bringing that up at some other point because Yorkie, I know you got some stories about being traded. That's it for now. We appreciate you stopping by, but thanks for watching Coming in Hot. See you, everybody.
See you, gents.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by Betano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.